Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3, season 2, Choked Out Radio. A lot to talk about. We have Vibes.
In the building.
And we have
Miguel Sosa. You already know.
And today we're going to talk about Eddie Guerrero and his impact on wrestling today, right? So Eddie Guerrero, born Eduardo Guerrero. So he comes from the Guerrero lineage, or the Guerrero family, famous in Mexico, of course. And
Yes.
we get the first taste of Eddie Guerrero in ECW. Rafi, what are your thoughts on his feud with Dean Malenko?
It was amazing. It was like, wow, we've never seen these kind of moves before. I still remember he came out. He had that like American flag jacket.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, yeah.
And I was like, who's this guy? Let me check this out. It's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And the back and forth and the flips and the flying, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, what is this? This is insane. And fast forward a few months later, I'm like, oh, they're on WCW TV. I saw these guys wrestling in a gym.
Right.
And I wish I would have had like the opportunity to see them live when they were in ECW. I know that I believe they wrestled at the Lost Battalion on Queens Boulevard.
Right.
I think they
never went to Lost Battalion.
No,
I
we
went
never
to
went
the Elks Lodge. That
Yeah.
we did.
I never been to the Lost Battalion, but
right.
I remember it was just a few blocks away from the Elks.
Yeah.
Right next to Burger King?
and Gold
Burger King.
and
Goldfingers.
Goldfingers, right? It's
Yeah.
still open? No.
Wiggles.
I
Wiggles is
wish,
close
man.
to.
Good times.
Wiggle it.
Yeah, I know, just a little bit.
But yeah, I mean they had a dope feud. I mean they had really good chemistry because they've been wrestling all over the place with each other.
Yeah.
Japan, ECW.
It was nonstop action.
Yeah.
It was nonstop, and the fans ate it up. Night after night, they would just put on amazing matches.
It's one of the first matches I remember that there was like nobody sat down.
Yeah,
Right.
and it was like a standing ovation
Yeah.
afterwards. You know what I mean? Like it was just holy crap! What a great match these guys put on together.
And it was different
Yeah,
because
it was different.
ECW is known for their like craziness, hardcore tables,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fans bring their weapons. It was like actual wrestling.
It was
Yeah.
actually, and we've spoken off camera about it, how ECW synonymous, and like Paul Heyman brought a lot of these Mexican luchadors into the company. They brought them into the U.S. This is the first time I ever saw Rey Mysterio, Psychosis. You have
Juventud Guerrero.
Juventud Guerrero was in ECW. I don't
Was he?
remember.
Louis was there.
Yeah,
Was there?
movie. Then you have you have these Japanese wrestlers, Tajiri coming in, and
The Great Sasuke
and
fought for a little bit right there, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Great Sasuke.
Masato Tanaka.
Masato Tanaka.
course.
Yeah, but you have all these cruiserweights coming in, and
Right.
in part of that class was Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko.
Right.
Just putting on great matches night after night. And the thing is, Eddie Guerrero, like the way he looked, he just looked like a regular guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just
With
looked
a
like
mullet,
a regular
with his
dude with a
mullet.
mullet and a mustache. He
Right.
wasn't, he wasn't the biggest guy in the room. But he could work. He could just he was a high flyer, and he could do groundwork. Like he did a lot.
Right.
And then I remember the last match him and Dean Malenko had. Like fans were like crying.
Yeah.
The fact that they were leaving
They
to
were
WCW.
chanting, "Please don't go."
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the first time that I ever like experienced that as
Mhm.
as a fan. Like damn, like this is dope. Like
Yeah.
Right.
I'd never seen like all these people standing. They didn't sit down the entire match,
Right.
and it's like every move they felt it. Every move they reacted to it, and it's like everything they did. I think it was like a 2 out of 3 falls match.
I don't remember.
I know one of their matches were.
Yeah.
Right.
But the reversals, the flipping, the flying, the every spot, like they had every fan in that building going ballistic for
Yeah.
everything they
Yeah.
did. Everything they did was believable. And then, they had all the fans standing, clapping, crying, and then all the wrestlers came out at the end.
Right.
They got a standing ovation.
Right.
And I think they were like the only match probably in ECW, like for the night, let's say, that was putting on those type of matches.
Right, exactly.
You know
At
what I
that
mean?
time.
That was just there was no botches.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just had
Every
great
move was
chemistry.
calculated,
Every
right.
move was calculated.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing stuff. Like, you guys should check it out, man.
Yeah.
Good matches.
Yep. He goes to WCW, right? Becomes cruiserweight champ. Has amazing matches, right?
Mhm.
What are your thoughts of his move to WCW? He's cruiserweight champ, U.S. champ as well, right? Obviously,
TV champ.
TV champ as well, right?
Yeah.
Never-
Well, I mean, now like in WCW,
WCW.
you start seeing him show more character,
Right,
because he didn't show charisma
Right.
and personality in ECW.
right.
Now in WCW, he slimmed down a lot.
Yeah,
His hair grew. He grew his hair out. He had like an edge to him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
one of my favorite matches ever was him against Ray, Halloween Havoc.
Yes.
98.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
That's
match.
one of the. I remember Chalkline. I think. Shout out to Chalkline.
Yeah,
They have a jacket.
based off that.
Yeah.
Mattel
based on that.
released figures from that match.
For that
Oh,
match.
yeah?
Yeah.
That's when he wore the Riddler, right? That was the Riddler one.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
wore
I remember,
Was
somehow I
it a
remember
purple?
that. Purple
Yeah.
Riddler.
yeah, it was dope, man. Halloween. That was a great
that
match.
was one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah.
And you know, but that's what you expected from these guys. Like, they
Right.
would come out and, you know, they opened the show, but they opened the show and it was just like, follow that,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
And the main event couldn't follow that.
No,
No.
of course.
And
Was that the pay per view that Goldberg fought DDP and then they went over? It was a lot of it 3 hours.
Yeah.
And they cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same
Was
pay
it
per
that
view.
one,
That was
or
the
was
same
it
one.
Ultimate Warrior against Hogan?
It could have been that too.
Well,
Remember? It was Havoc.
It was. I know it was a
98?
Havoc.
No, yeah, it was.
It was.
I think it was
Warrior
Hogan.
Hogan.
It
It
was
was,
Warrior.
terrible.
And it got cut off.
Yeah.
It sucked so much. They were like, "No, we're cutting you off."
Because it went on for like over 3 hours.
They
I
went
remember-
over their time.
Yeah.
They
Oh my god.
they cut it off.
Yeah, that
but-
was bad.
Yeah, it was a great match. It was like a lot of flying, a lot of, like, you know, sequences that you've never seen before, and
Right.
and you know, it was matches like that really put a guy like Eddie Guerrero on the map. And
Right.
then, you know, seeing his feuds with guys like Jericho and his feud again with Malenko in WCW and Psychosis, and then he started moving on to other guys. So he would face. They started having him not wrestle luchadors, trying to prove, you know, him showing them like, yo, I can do more than just.
Right.
Than all
But
this
they
fun.
still kept them in that
In that
category.
cruiserweight division.
Right.
Yeah, the thing about
You
WCW
know.
is if once you were stuck in a division, you weren't getting out.
No.
You know, Jericho.
Was the exception to the rule, right? I guess. Right.
Yeah, because he won the TV title,
Right. And then he won the cruiserweight.
and then he won the cruiserweight.
But I think Jericho was more like, he was like, screw this, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Because when he was calling out Goldberg,
Right.
you know,
He did that on his own.
He did that on
yeah.
his
On
own.
his own,
He
yeah.
did it on his own, you
Right.
know. But
The famous 1004 hold.
Yeah. Yes,
Malenko
Malenko,
was
yeah.
listing all that.
yeah,
Malenko.
exactly. You know, but like, yeah, I think, and I'm gonna mention this later on.
Right.
Eddie Guerrero was like a, how do I say, like he was like, you know, he was like the first one.
A trailblazer. Right?
A trailblazer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, he was a cruiserweight, and he said, I'm just going to make the best of this. And just, you know, like, even when NWO was created, he was the leader of LWO.
Right.
Like, he created the LWO. He gathered all the cruiserweights, all the Mexican luchadors, and created his own faction. He was the leader of that faction, you know, but he took more of a leadership role in WCW. And he developed, you know, his character and his look, and he just, you know, tried to just switch it up a bit, and it worked out. And, you know, like his in-ring work stayed the same, like it didn't change. It was just, he was more aggressive. I feel like, you know, he told more of a story inside the ring, you know. But he did great. He did great work over there in that company.
Right. I agree. The cruiserweight, especially the first hour of Nitro, was always devoted to cruiserweights, and you couldn't miss that, as we mentioned.
No,
in
he took it under his wing.
Right. Absolutely. Kind of what I wanted the cruiserweights WWE to do now. Right.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
What, 205 Live?
205. Right. Right.
Yeah.
they had potential. They had potential with the Cruiserweight Classic,
Yeah.
but
Nothing ever took off.
No.
So Guerrero leaves, right, along with the Radicals, right? Benoit, Perry Saturn,
And
Malenko, and him, they go to WWF or E, whatever, in January 2000, right? In 2000, right?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Guerrero seeing those four guys, those four workers, right, workhorses in the WWE, right when in the midst of the Attitude Era, WrestleMania 2000 around the corner, WrestleMania season? What are your thoughts on that?
Dope.
Well, originally he didn't want to leave.
Okay.
He had that conversation with Bischoff, and Bischoff threw a cup of coffee in his face,
Right.
and then told him to get out of his office. So
Right.
that's when he was like, "Yo, I'm out."
Right.
And Shane Douglas was originally supposed to go with them.
He was.
And
to be the fifth radical? Wow.
Yeah, and then McMahon was like, "Absolutely not."
No.
He was like, "I'll take all four of you, but not him." And then they just left without him.
Because of what he did when he was Dean Douglas,
Yeah.
right? In
Right.
'95, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, he burned his bridge.
Burned his bridge.
So
Yeah.
when they showed up on Raw,
As the radicals, right?
yeah, I was like, "Oh wow, this is good." And he got injured his first night.
Yeah.
his
Popped his
elbow
elbow out.
popped out of a
Right.
frog splash.
On Billy Gunn, I
Yeah,
remember.
Wow.
because they like attacked. They hit the ring and they started attacking, which is freaking awesome.
Right.
And it's like you knew that they made the right decision.
Right.
Because like as you see, like they all came in together, but then after a while they split. But they all had different personalities.
Right.
Like Malenko, well, he more transitioned to like behind the scenes, but like Perry
No, in
Saturn.
the beginning, he was good. He was a ladies' man.
Yeah.
And he won the light heavyweight, I think.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
one point, right? But
I
he never
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Ladies man,
Ladies'
Dean
man,
Malenko.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he just never panned out for whatever
No.
reason. He just never, like you said, he transitioned more behind the scenes. Never panned out to a main eventer or even a mid carder, right? His career was very short.
Well,
out
the
of
thing
both.
is too is like he didn't show off too much personality.
Right.
He didn't have a lot of charisma.
Right.
You know, he was always known for his
The
in-work.
Iceman.
Yeah, he was
Right.
the Iceman, Dean Malenko. He was always known for his in-ring work.
Right.
You know,
And never was paired with a mouthpiece, right? Like
yeah,
back in the 80s,
and
right?
which should have happened.
Right, exactly.
But when he was part of the Radicals, you know, Eddie would talk
Right.
for that faction.
Saturn went crazy.
Saturn
With
lost
a mop.
his mind.
He lost his mind
Yeah.
with a moppy.
Moppy and he wore a dress.
Who wore dress.
But it was dope though, like the way they debuted, because they were
Right.
sitting in the audience,
Right.
you know, and you see that just nobody knew.
Right. This is
And-
before now. Like now, social media.
Yeah,
you
like
could-
everything you
spoiled.
find out on the internet or on
Right.
Facebook
A
or
week before-
Instagram.
exactly.
You know, I hate it. Or
Right.
Twitter. Yeah, like you see these four guys in the crowd and you're like, holy crap, these are
Right.
these are the guys from WCW. Like, what are they doing here? And they just jump in the ring and jump. I believe it was Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. And,
Yeah.
I forgot who else was
Triple
in the
H.
ring. Yeah, Triple H and China or whatever they were there. And yeah, I remember that frog splash when his elbow popped out. That was nasty,
Yeah.
man.
He just like
That
he grabs
Like,
his arm.
like you see it just.
Oh.
Oh, it was just so gross, and it
What-
sucked. That was his first night there,
and he
man.
got hurt. But you know, comes with the territory of being a
Right.
professional
wrestler.
wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Sucks.
his whole transition in WWE to like
Latino
to
Heat.
Latino Heat and with China, and then like that was some of the greatest things. Like looking back on it,
Right.
it was hilarious. All the stuff that he was doing with the flowers and everything, and trying to win over China, and then transitioning from that to like lie, cheating, and stealing. And that's
his
like
pairing with his cousin, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Chavo.
Yeah,
and
his
that
nephew.
that like
Nephew.
that defined his like career, and that like kind of led to him, you know, doing the unthinkable, which was winning
The world
the
championship.
world championship, beating Brock Lesnar. He's one of the few people on the roster that has a
Yeah.
clean victory over
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar.
it's true.
Right.
And it's like, you know, just to add to that, I mean, this is like when he broke out
Right.
in WWE. Like they pretty much had faith in him because, you know, they had the faction with the Radicals. Eventually they split
broke
them
up,
up,
split up.
whatever. But we all know who became the star of that group.
Right.
I mean, it could have been Benoit, but, you know, we all know what happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Although Benoit has some good matches with even The Rock
yeah.
that year, right?
Yeah,
At
for
Fully
sure.
Loaded
I mean,
and-
they both had championship matches at WrestleMania.
Right.
no,
exactly.
yeah, for sure. I mean,
But yeah, but
2004 WrestleMania
Right,
20.
Right.
You know, but they
But Eddie, you
Eddie
could tell.
had the whole
the whole package. Right.
He had the whole package. You know, the look. Forget the look. Just the fact that he was entertaining.
Right.
He was entertaining. He had so much charisma. So much character, man. Like when he was on TV, like like it's like you couldn't like it was just fun to watch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially during the whole Latino Heat era.
Right.
You know, and he just kept evolving little by little from
Right.
there.
His personality made up for his lack of size.
Right.
So
Because
it-
he was only 5'8",
Yeah,
right? Or something like
but
that.
it, but it
5'8",
made
5'8", yeah.
but his personality and his in-ring work made you forget that he was a smaller guy,
Right.
and he can go with anybody.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't recall any before Eddie Guerrero any cruiserweight that ever won the world championship.
Well, Jericho.
What, Jericho?
Jericho won before Eddie.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
won it.
Was it?
That
Yeah.
was unforgivable. Whatever pay-per-view won. He won the
Oh,
world championship.
2001.
And
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right.
Guerrero 104.
So Jericho, you're
Jericho.
right. I thought of Jericho
But
when he was the
Jericho wasn't
undisputed
a
champion.
true cruiserweight.
Right.
Yeah, but he was still like labeled in that
In
division,
that division for a while.
especially in WCW, and
He was
you know,
like
he was
pushed
still
there.
yeah.
Right? It was like
Yeah. So and the thing is, like his debut into WWE, like he had a huge debut. Like they hyped him up for so long.
oh yeah, with the whole countdown.
Yeah, with the
which
whole
Jericho says he got it from a
Y2K.
post office. He said.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir. I read his Jericho book. Got it from,
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Got the idea from
It was-
post
it
office.
I thought it
around
was
the
because
same
of
time-
the New Year.
The
No,
Y2K.
They had the
Y2K.
Y2K clock. And
Yeah.
he was in the post office taking mail. He was like, the countdown. That's a good way to
Wow.
Yeah.
debut.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yo,
did.
shout out to Jericho, who's like one of the most
Pro
creative
wrestling.
minds.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. You just have
Everything and
you
everywhere.
just have to be creative, man. You
Yeah.
have to have a good mind
Yeah.
for that, you know. But yeah.
So he wins.
he
You know,
wins.
he wins what, the IC, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wins the IC, and then he gets terminated. So tell me a little bit about that. We discussed that off the air before about why he got terminated the first time.
He was having substance abuse issues, man. Like the drinking, the drugs, the pills. It was just too much, and they told him to get cleaned up. I think he had gotten into a car accident and he almost died.
Right.
I know that he went flying through the windshield.
Wow.
And that's when they were like, like, you going to rehab or you quit or you're fired. And I think he was like, they fired me, and they let him go.
Yeah.
And then he started hitting the indie scene.
Right.
I think he wrestled Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
He wrestled IWA. And I think this is when he got fired. It was before Ray came on. 'Cause Ray came like,
He came in SummerSlam 02, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Ray and him and CM Punk had like a 3-way
A triple threat match.
in
Yeah.
IWA.
I think
really, really good
CM
match.
Punk talks about that a lot.
Yeah.
As well.
I think it's on a DVD. I think it is. Yeah.
You can
one
watch
of
the
his
match on YouTube. It's really, really good.
But it's weird.
It's weird
Seeing
seeing, yeah, like
Right.
Because this is before CM Punk was in WWE.
Yeah.
Like, this is when he was like one of the top guys in the
And
Indies.
these, right.
and then you have a guy that was just like, yo, you were
He
at
was just
WrestleMania,
there.
and
WrestleMania,
then now
having his
you're-
moment, and
now you're
Yeah.
working.
Astrodome,
And then
now,
Rey
right.
Mysterio, who left WCW, who's there.
Right.
So it's like it's just weird seeing them all three
All three.
together in that
Small
like
venue, whatever
small.
it is.
Yeah,
Right.
it was just weird to watch,
Right.
but it's pretty good, pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So I guess cleans up his act somewhat, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, gives us a treat throughout the independent circuit, right? And
Yeah.
wrestles these amazing classic matches, right?
Yeah.
Eventually gets rehired, right? And eventually
Came back a little bigger,
bigger, which is suspect, right?
Yeah.
Suspect and
a lot bigger.
yes, a lot.
Yeah, he came back pretty jacked.
His whole physique completely changed, and he looked different.
His arms were
But his in-ring
huge.
style didn't change.
no,
Right.
it didn't.
Right.
His hair, he had blonde hair at the time.
Like
Or
highlights.
Highlights.
Yeah.
highlights.
Yeah.
And then he kind of transitioned out of that whole cruiserweight title, like name that they had him labeled under, and he was more of he was on par with like
the top guys.
most of the top guys.
Yeah, he became.
Thank God, no drink.
Thank God, there was no drinking there. Yo, no more for
No
you.
more. Cut off the one. Oh
So,
my
like,
goodness.
I know he wrestled. I believe he wrestled Triple H on a Raw.
Him and RVD had some great matches, right?
Yeah, a fan
yeah.
jumped in the ring and pushed him off the ladder.
It's crazy.
They kicked him.
Yeah, and then he like started beating him up, which is funny.
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, when he came back, that's when they
paired him with his nephew,
Paired him
right?
with Chavo.
yeah,
Right.
this is right before they put the rocket on his back.
Yeah, and I think this is 2002, 2003,
02,
when
the brand split.
Yeah, and SmackDown was dope.
Ah,
man.
all
It was
under Heyman-
so
under
good.
Heyman.
The
Yeah.
SmackDown 6.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember on SmackDown was like the wrestling brand.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and it was, you had Kurt Angle, you had Edge, you had
Guerrero,
I think Shelton Benjamin,
Right.
Benoit.
Brock.
Benoit,
Brock
Brock, the Hardys, I think they were there, but it was known for wrestling, known for having good matches. You know what I'm saying? Raw was more like storyline based and promos and vignettes and stuff and stupid crap. And SmackDown was more like wrestling based, and you knew that you were gonna see some really good matches on there, and Eddie Guerrero was a huge part of it. Yeah, man. And I think they had the who was it? Benoit was on there too.
Yeah.
Benoit and Rhino at one point were a tag team.
Yeah.
I believe
They had that split really highlighted certain guys and it elevated them to another level.
Yeah.
So like without that split, Edge would have never been world champion. JBL would have never been
Eddie
world
Guerrero
champion.
too.
Eddie Guerrero wouldn't have been world champion. Benoit would have never been world champion. So the split benefited a lot of guys because you got to see really, really good matches, and you got to see their personalities develop in the ring. You know, they were building Brock to be this monster that he was, and you know, everybody knew that he was eventually leaving.
Right.
So it made sense for him to lose the title. I never thought in a million years he would lose it to Eddie Guerrero.
Right.
That match is freaking phenomenal. If you've never seen it, No Way Out, 2004.
2004?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because he left WrestleMania 20 the first time, Liz.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
It was that crowd reaction at the end.
In the Cow Palace? That's crazy.
So
Goldberg,
good,
Goldberg was
interfered, right? Or somewhat interfered.
He bought a ticket. He was sitting in the front row.
That was dope.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Nah, that was good, man. That was good stuff. And you know, it was a feel good story.
Right.
You know, it was a feel good
like a
story.
redemption.
Yeah. And and it's just like, you know, at that time now, like everyone loved Eddie Guerrero.
Right.
You know, he was just a great guy to watch, you know, and it's just like they're also telling you his backstory. Right. You know, like whatever struggles he went through in his life and his personal.
Yeah, it came out. It actually came out. What the drugs and whatever.
Yeah, like they actually spoke about it on TV.
They made it very public.
Yeah, so it was just good stuff, man. And then afterwards he goes over to, you know, after he wins the title, goes off to WrestleMania and wrestles Kurt Angle,
right, in a classic.
That match.
No.
That finish of that match is one of my favorites.
With the boot?
Yeah, he untied his shoe.
Yeah.
and he pulled it off, and then it was just...
And he rolled him up.
Yeah.
It's like Cradle.
Such a great
And
match.
again, this is now... Because if you think about it, like, he became more of a comedic character when he was doing the whole Latino Heat and China. Like, that, pairing them together, it kind of, like, helped him, like, build this funny character. You know what I mean? So it's just like... He kept evolving.
Right.
And then, you know, when he did the whole tag team with Chavo and the whole lie stealing and cheating and all the vignettes and all those funny promos they used to do, you know, it was great.
Yeah.
And then when he became a single star, now he's putting, you know, with the whole famous. I've never seen it before. I'm telling you, Eddie Guerrero was the first. I've never seen it, but you know, slamming the steel chair on the mat when the ref isn't looking, and then he would throw it at the opponent, and they catch it, and he throws himself on the ground, and the referee looks, and the opponent's just like, I didn't do it, but you're holding the chair,
DQ,
ring the bell.
DQ, you know, and if you unfortunately his last match with Mr. Kennedy, it was he did that move. You know, and then we come to find out that was the last match
ever.
Sad, man.
I know. So he loses the belt to JBL
one of the bloodiest matches I've ever seen.
If you have not seen this match, please go watch it.
Yeah.
He won it in a four corners match. In a corners, what is it? It was a four corners match, right, or something like that. Not a four corners, a match that you have to touch the buckle.
Strap match.
Strap match.
Yeah,
That was a strap match. They had to hit the four buckles, right? That was crazy.
That match was.
That was when you were allowed to blade.
Yeah.
Right? Now
he hit some artery because he was leaking.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Leaking. Like he got shot in the face.
Oh, my
It was so bad.
Right.
Like if you're woozy, then don't watch it. But other than that, watch it in black and white. It was a great match.
Right.
They had a great feud.
They
Eddie
did.
Guerrero and JBL.
It made sense for JBL to win the title.
Yeah.
Because of the way the feud was going.
Right.
As much as some people hated it, like it
Right.
made a lot of sense for him.
No, and the thing is too, JBL was such a great heel.
Yeah.
And a great
Great on the
character.
mic and-
Good, yeah.
Great character. Right?
Yeah, that character.
Self-made millionaire, whatever it was. Right?
Yup, and he was. People hated him, man.
Right. Then he had the people, the cabinet, the people around him.
Oh
Orlando Jordan.
Orlando Jordan.
Not Jason Jordan.
Not Jason Jordan. I confuse the two, man. I confuse them, man. I'm sorry.
They look nothing alike.
I know.
It's the Jordan throws me off.
Jordan.
Orlando Jordan, Jason Jordan, same shit. Nah, let me stop.
So Guerrero fights. No, he gets this feud, right? Well, I'm not sure what happens to him in 04, but I know 05, that was last year live. Amazing feud with Rey Mysterio over Dominic, right? He had a match at WrestleMania, and then a ladder match at SummerSlam 05, right?
I'm your daddy.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I'm your papi.
I'm your papi.
I'm your papi.
The
famous shirt.
Yes.
One of your famous shirt.
Oh man.
What are your thoughts on that?
They released a figure with that shirt.
Yeah?
Jax released the figure. It says "I'm your papi."
Oh.
I'm gonna go buy. I think they have it at Wrestling Universe.
Yeah?
I'm gonna go get it. Shout out to Wrestling
You
Universe.
know which shirt that I think is one of the best wrestling T-shirts of all time?
Which one?
It's the Eddie Guerrero, like
Scarface?
Like Scarface.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! And the Latino Heat. That's one of my favorite.
Right.
I think they sell it on WWE Shop.
I'm gonna look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that feud, man?
That was
Between
great.
him and-
You know, to this day, people still ask. Dominic said in the interview, people still ask him if Eddie Guerrero if this is his father.
Freaking
And that was
15 years
Yeah,
later.
it was such a good feud.
It was great, man. Seeing Dominic with his freaking blonde hair,
Yeah,
blonde
his
hair.
little
Like-
kid and
Yeah.
everything. Looked like he was in a little boy band.
The troll.
But yo, what? Yo, edit that out. What happened?
what did I say? I said it's bad.
Yo, I heard something. But yeah, no more for you.
Cut this man off.
Yo,
Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
Yeah, man. I think it was a great feud because I mean, obviously,
Highlighted Ray.
Yeah,
right?
and Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero have it's like they're
Chemistry.
Yeah, the like freaking amazing chemistry. You know,
Right.
they've been wrestling together for a number
For
of
years
years
prior in WCW.
Yeah,
and probably
every
Mexico. And probably
single
Mexico.
company I think they've been in,
Right.
they match up against each other. But it was a good storyline. You know, you put this kid in the mix. You know, and he's not even a competitor. He's like that's really his legit son.
Right.
You know, and I think that's when Eddie turned heel.
Right.
Right, and it was at WrestleMania, was it, that they had their match?
Their first match, right? And then had a rematch at SummerSlam, I believe.
Yeah. And
The ladder match.
it was a great feud because you know what can we say? We've never seen a bad Eddie
ladder
Guerrero
match for custody.
Yeah,
From
for-
a kid.
Yeah, but you know what? It was something
Different.
Different.
Right.
It was the first time we saw something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, as crazy as it sounds, and this is like after Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is
Like-
ruthless aggression era.
Yeah, this is the ruthless aggression era between was it 2002 and 2007, 2008,
right.
whatever. I feel like we're still in the ruthless aggression. era. Or no, this is like a new generation.
I call it modern era.
The modern era. 'Cause
right.
we don't even know what to call it.
This is the PG era.
The PG era, yeah.
Right.
But it was a great feud, man. You
Yeah.
know, we cannot say nothing negative.
No.
Right.
Anybody
About-
that has a bad thing to say about Eddie
their
Guerrero,
feud.
you need to reevaluate your life.
Right.
'cause
No,
the dude
man.
was awesome.
No, and you know, like he's like the Babe Ruth of Latino wrestling.
Right.
You know,
They paved way for Mysterio, Andrade today, all
Yeah.
the Carrillo, all
And-
these guys that come from
exactly.
even ADR to an extent. They're
because
real.
he also gave you that
that hope.
that you're a luchador,
Right.
a cruiserweight,
Can be the champion.
Hispanic.
a
Hispanic as well.
Latino wrestler that can
Can
you know win a championship.
Can you imagine Andrade against Eddie Guerrero? Dude.
Dream match.
Dream match, right?
That's
That
a
would
dream
be-
match.
Right.
Or even Garza in NXT?
Oh,
Yeah.
Against-
Garza's good.
Yeah,
What?
and
Right.
and you know what? Like, it's kind of like he's, you know, if you think about it, like they kind of like each person takes something.
Yeah.
They all
out of-
show. They
like,
all show respect.
They all,
to Eddie.
they all show respect
Because they
to
all
Eddie.
do the Three Amigos.
the three
Right,
amigos,
right.
and they always do the wiggling of
Yeah.
their
Right.
shoulders and
Shoulders, yeah.
stuff. But you know, if you speak to every Latino wrestler, they always have Eddie Guerrero on their list
Yeah.
as a inspiration. Or
Even
as a role
Amazing
model.
Red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To every match, he gives a little shout out to Eddie.
yeah, he's
You know, they wrestled. We were there 3-4 years ago.
yeah,
Eddie Guerrero tribute match.
yeah.
Red against Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Off the chain.
Great match.
Yeah.
Great match, man.
So he passes away, I guess October, right, or November, right, a little bit before Survivor Series, right,
Yeah.
or October. So I know he was supposed to win the belt, right? I know him and Batista were feuding, right? They were a tag team and they were feuding, right, at the same time, something like that.
Batista and him were a tag team
as well, right?
Yes.
November 13th.
Yes, it was right before Survivor Series. I remember that. So he was supposed to win the belt. What was the rumor? So Rob, can you elaborate on that? Do you remember the leading up until his death? Like, what was the story behind him and Batista?
There was tension.
There was
right?
tension. There was
Yeah,
definitely
they were a tag team.
Yeah, I'm talking online. I mean, on camera, not.
Oh
real
yeah,
life.
not in real
No.
life.
Yeah,
No.
They were a tag team, and then I know they had a couple matches together on SmackDown. I think they were supposed to feud. Batista was the champion,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Guerrero was supposed to.
I think he was supposed to win. Right.
He was supposed to beat him for the title,
Right.
and then
Obviously,
they got the unfortunate news that he passed, and they had to change all the plans. But they had good chemistry together as a tag team and wrestling against each other.
As weird as it seems.
Right.
As
Well,
weird
the
as it
Batista
seems.
guy, you know his story.
Batista,
Ex bouncer, came into business
yeah,
very late.
Not only that, like he's this huge
He's
monster,
monster,
through
right.
the-
movie star now.
Yeah,
I
he's
know,
a
bona fide
freaking-
movie star.
Yeah.
I know.
Stuber. You have to watch Stuber. It's really good.
What
yeah, I gotta
movie?
check it out.
Stuber.
What?
Stuber.
What the hell is that?
Not Uber, Stuber. It's about an Uber driver.
Oh nah, bro! I
Nah,
saw the
it's
commercial
good.
for
No,
Wrestle
it's-
Trailer.
I saw it. It's a good movie.
Nah, I'm good.
I watched it on.
I'll wait until it comes out on
It is.
Netflix.
It is. It's at the
I'm gonna
end,
watch
it's-
it.
Stuber.
I saw it on a flight. It's really good.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Batista's
He just freaking.
Batista's a good actor.
He just plugged the movie.
But
He's getting paid
was trying-
on the
I'm
side
trying
of Batista.
yeah, Batista's like,
Trying to get that-
good job, kid.
trying to get that Dave Batista money.
Yeah.
No, but it was they had good chemistry. He was supposed to win
Yeah, I remember he's supposed to win the belt.
the
bro.
championship. He was gonna be another like a 2-time champion. What was the world heavyweight championship?
Yeah.
I
And
know.
unfortunately, they got that
and
news.
And you know what's crazy? Like I still remember the Johnny Cash song.
Oh yeah. Now, which one? Ain't no grave, or that's Undertaker?
yeah.
For the tribute.
Yeah, for
Oh,
the
yeah.
tribute.
Oh, yeah. It's not, ain't no grave is Undertaker.
Yeah, Ain't No Grave is Undertaker, but
But
it's
he came out to that one year. Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
Undertaker. That was weird.
weird times.
I
That's
know.
whatever he wants.
But I remember, because obviously, unfortunately, a lot of wrestlers passed away.
Passed
A lot
away
of
early.
wrestlers-
36.
Yeah,
Yeah.
36, man. And wow, 36.
Yeah, they're
wow.
so young.
Shit.
He had so much to give to the business
Wow,
still.
man. And
And he gave so
damn.
much to the business already.
Yeah, and it's like we seen so many people we grew up with pass away. But yo, I cried.
Yeah.
I cried.
That's one of the ones that
I cried.
hurt.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like that really hit. That really hurt because not only was he a current superstar, but it's just that the impact that he had,
All the doors he broke down.
all the doors he broke down, his whole story, like
Right.
like you
Overcame
you
drugs,
knew-
overcame
yeah, like
rehab,
as a
overcame-
fan, you
Right.
got to know him
Right.
on TV and granted, with all these professional wrestlers, we get to see them on TV and everything, but we don't really know about their personal life.
Right.
You know what I mean? But with Eddie, we got to know about his personal life.
Yep.
And like, just and even afterwards, man, like the love and support
Yeah.
you saw from the like seeing Triple H cry over
Yeah.
him
Right.
the way that he did, it was like he was sobbing, man.
Yeah. Right.
Ah, damn, sad.
And then I know. And then I know.
Yeah,
And then Rumble 06, Mysterio wins, right?
Yeah.
Wins the Rumble. You could say I don't want to say pity, but you could say is because Eddie died. What are your thoughts on that?
It was like a tribute to Eddie.
Right.
They rode that wave because they were like good friends, and
Right.
Eddie opened the doors for
Right.
Latinos, man.
Yeah.
And there's only been 2 official Latino world champions, Eddie and Rey Mysterio
Ray.
in WWE.
That's it.
World champions,
In WWE.
Del Rio.
That's right, Del Rio. That's right. It's ATR.
He hates him, man.
So ATR, you're right.
Fucking
3.
bum.
So 3. So he beats. I remember him beating Randy Orton and Kurt Angle in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 22. But yeah, it was a tribute to Eddie.
Yeah,
And you never know what
it
could
was
have
right.
happened.
It was right. I think it was the right move because
Yeah.
it was again.
Who else was going to win it at that time?
No,
time,
and
right.
the thing is, it was a feel good story.
Right,
and,
exactly.
And
they
you
rode
have-
that way. I'm not gonna lie. They rode
Yeah.
The other championship, wasn't it Michaels and Cena?
06 at that time. No, Triple H and Cena.
No,
fought.
didn't Triple H get injured?
No, that was later on. He got injured before WrestleMania 23.
Yeah.
that's the Shawn
right,
Michaels
right,
replacement.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, Rey Mysterio, I felt like was a great champion.
He was.
I mean, he won Triple Threat with Kurt Angle and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
You know, that was it was a short match, but it was good.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he went off from after that, like he had some pretty good matches, other feuds and everything. But, you know, I mean, we all know it was because of the passing of Eddie Guerrero. But who else? Who would have been a better person to give it to other than Ray? You know what I'm saying?
Travel.
That
would have been pity.
That would have been super pity, right?
Yeah.
We're like, hey.
Yeah, especially after, like, didn't he, like, change his gimmick during
He was
that time?
Kerwin White,
Yeah,
no?
he was Kerwin White. He was a golfer.
Yeah.
He's a caddy. He's a caddy.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
Wasn't Dolph Ziggler's caddy or something like that?
So.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah.
His caddy?
I gotta go back and watch.
Yo,
it.
Dolph Ziggler's been around for
A
minute,
while.
man.
I know.
Ziggler's
I know.
Jobber.
So what do you think, man? What are your final thoughts on Eddie and his impact? Even today, even Sasha Banks paid a tribute to Eddie.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I have WrestleMania gear.
WrestleMania gear.
Yeah.
Right. What are your thoughts, man? Eddie Guerrero and his impact on Latino community.
He's the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Go down in history as the greatest of all time.
Right.
Well,
what.
in regards to Latino wrestlers.
Yeah, to Latino wrestlers.
I mean,
He'll go down as the greatest.
he's in my top 10.
No, there's nobody that can say anything bad about him.
Right.
He's in my. I mean, we should have a topic.
A top 10.
Top 5, top 10.
Don't say Rushmore
No,
like LeBron
no,
James, because it's
no.
so hard, right?
Nah. Screw the Mount Rushmore because it's just hard.
It's so hard,
It's
right?
hard. But let's do a top 10 show,
Right.
and I want to see if Eddie's in it.
Right.
He's in mine. I'll tell you that. Spoiler. All right.
He's
Let's do it. We'll do like a.
You want to do a fan vote? We could do a fan vote like
do
on
a fan
Twitter
vote.
or on Facebook.
Yeah.
We could just put
Yeah.
out there who's your top 10 or
Who's your top 10, and we'll
It's gonna
we'll
get
come up with a list.
spicy.
I know.
Yeah.
So we
I
get
might
spicy.
curse
We'll do
some people out.
We do it on
man.
Survey Monkey. We just with the Survey
Can we
Monkey.
curse on the show?
We could curse.
We
We
can
could
say
curse.
whatever
We
the
can say that-
fuck we
Oh
want.
my god!
Uncensored.
Censored.
Yo, let's do this.
Until we get sponsors, then we can curse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that was a first.
Well, we have one for the love of craft.
Nice.
Shout out to
Yes,
Love of Craft.
Yes.
Holla.
So final thoughts. What do you thought on his impact on today, even today's wrestling?
Again, you know, every Latino wrestler you see on TV right now, Eddie had an influence on. You know what I'm saying? Whether if it's the indie scene, whether if it's mainstream, TV, whatever, anything in professional wrestling, and you're a Latino wrestler, Eddie has had an influence on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of Latino wrestlers personally, in the indie scene, and everyone talks about him. You know what I mean? And they all kind of, Eddie, whatever you see in the ring, like you said, the Three Amigos or the frog splash from the top rope, or whatever mannerisms that he used to do in the ring, you see that.
Yeah, you see that today.
You see that today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
You saw it on Monday. Andrade did it.
Yeah.
In the match with Rey Mysterio.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is 15 years after his passing.
Yeah.
So that shows you the legacy that he left behind, and the influence he had in his business. And it's crazy from just a guy coming from Mexico and in a bingo hall promotion in ECW, and then went over to WWF, WWE,
Get terminated, come back, and win the belt, right?
and
world title.
And just shows you his perseverance, his hard work. You know what I mean? And everybody has their demons. Everyone has, whatever issues that they're going through, and Eddie was one of them, and it came back to bite him in the ass.
Eventually,
later on in life, but.
He had cleaned up. He had cleaned up for sure at the end.
It's nothing to take away from his career,
Of course.
and him as a human being.
Right.
Got so much love for that guy, man.
Yeah. Vibes to close it out.
RIP to the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The Latino GOAT.
Yeah. For Jim Wrestle, Vibes, and Sosa, we are out. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about Royal Rumble 92.
It's gonna be a good one.
I know. I can't wait.